comfortable place to sit because there will be a meditation afterwards. Okay, so um, if you want to have any comments, post any comments, you can post them in the chat. Um, and the the administrators will forward those questions and comments to me. Good morning, Candace. It's good seeing you this morning. Um, good morning to the Wake Up Everybody community. Again, my name is Dr. Jewa Lea, and today's session topic is That's Deep. This is a part 2 from last Tuesday's topic, which was Shift Happens. So make yourself comfortable. We'll be here for an hour and a half, sharing the information that I have to share today. Good morning, Afua. It's nice seeing you this morning. Nice seeing you this morning. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning to you. Good morning, Louise. It's good seeing you this morning. And good morning to everyone in the Wake Up Everybody community all over the country. Glad to see you this early on this Tuesday morning, which is day 323 in the Wake Up Everybody community. Today's topic is That's Deep.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Good morning, Wake Up Everybody community. This is Dr. Jewa Lea. I am the author of the book Core Perfectum. What you don't know about your heart may be killing your life. I'm a master coach and a mind-body medicine practitioner. Good morning, Purple. It's good seeing you. Good morning to the Facebook community. For those of you who are on Facebook and who would like to interact with us this morning, you can type in the chat and the administrators will communicate that to me so that I can answer any questions that you may have. This is a part 2 of a session that I started last week entitled Shift Happens. And so this week is called That's Deep, just based on the feedback from last week's session. I put some information out there that was a bit new for a lot of people in regards to how consciousness and energy and healing can take place. So let me just review some of the information so that you can have an idea of the foundational tenets of what my argument or my presentation stands on. The first one is that we are made of pure energy. We're made of pure energy, and so as energy, we need to know the energetic laws that rules energy. And there are 7 energetic laws: the law of mentalism, the laws of cause and effect, correspondence, gender, polarity, vibration, rhythm. Did I forget one? Those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. I think I said 7. If I missed one, I can get back to that. So since we're energy, we vibrate at different frequencies. There's the lower vibrational frequencies of our being is what we can actually see. It's our body. It vibrates at a slower frequency, and so it's denser, and so we can actually see this part of us. But there are parts of us that we cannot see. The soul part of us, our higher self, and the spirit part of us, and they vibrate at higher frequencies. And so our souls are eternal. Our souls have been around for thousands of years, and our souls take the opportunity to have different experiences based on incarnation. We incarnate in different bodies. We have that experience, and then that body dies. The soul goes on and moves to another body. The time between bodies is random. It's not just an immediate jump. Um, However, the important thing from this is that your soul is going through different incarnations and accumulating different experiences based on those incarnations. And so that your soul consciousness, your soul and your consciousness are one. So when your soul comes in, you are carrying the consciousness of your soul um, from past lifetimes. And as a result, there are certain things that can happen with your consciousness as a result of your soul's experience. So those are the basic foundational things that you need to know for this discussion that we're going to have today. A lot of people had problems with some of the information, or had trouble wrapping their heads around the information, because I'm talking about not just this lifetime and how your health is impacted by what you do in this lifetime. I'm talking about how you're an energetic being, and how your soul and your consciousness plays a huge role on what is happening in your physical body this lifetime. Okay, so let's go to the slides. You may want to have paper and pen for this. There may be some things that you may want to write down. So the title for this particular topic, day 323 in the Wake Up Everybody community, is That's Deep. And again, I'm Dr. Jewa Lea. Next slide. So every physical complaint is an expression of an unlearned lesson. This is a quote by Dr. M.T. Morter Jr. He is the developer of the technique that I use in my practice, which is called bioenergetic synchronization technique, also known as BEST. What BEST does, it looks at subconscious emotional memory patterns and how it affects your nervous system and your body. And it breaks those patterns so that your body can heal itself. And so this was my first introduction into how your thoughts can impact your health, or your consciousness can impact your health. So every physical complaint that you have is an expression of an unlearned lesson. And now if we expand the conversation from an unlearned lesson in this lifetime to an unlearned lesson in your soul's lifetime, then you can see how things can come up, or things that are unaddressed can wreak havoc without you really understanding what that is. Next slide. So when we replace why is this happening to me with what this is trying to teach me, everything shifts. So since your soul is incarnating in different bodies each lifetime, there are lessons that are learned in each lifetime. And usually between the ages of 0 or birth and 7 years old, you get an idea or a template of what the recurring theme is going to be within your life that you have to learn or overcome. You may be born into a household where you have abusive parents. And so the lesson to overcome would be abuse. You may be born into a household that there's addiction or substance abuse, either with a food addiction, with people eating a lot, or with people taking drugs. And so addiction may be something that would be the recurring theme in this particular lifetime and would need to be overcome. So your consciousness, your soul's consciousness, um, is completely pure at the very beginning. You know, it's pure, whole, and complete God consciousness or source consciousness, whatever way you want to talk about it, but it's still consciousness. So if you were to imagine, and don't change the slide for this because we'll get back to this. Do not change the slide. Okay. So if you were to imagine a clear glass of milk, that would be the equivalent of consciousness, pure consciousness. And so what we're going to address later on in the slide deck is how that pure consciousness can change during your soul's lifetime. So, and as a result, what happens? Next slide, please. Next slide. Oh, thank you. So I had spoken of these universal laws that take place because that would be beneficial for you to know. Since you are pure energy, it would help you to know the laws. And just because you don't know the laws doesn't mean they're not working. Just like gravity, you don't may not understand the law of gravity, but it's working all the time. So the main law of the seven laws is the law of mentalism. All is mind. The universe is mental, so thoughts lead to manifestation of things and events. Thoughts create our state of existence and the quality of our experience here on earth. Therefore, be responsible for everything you create by being responsible for everything that you think. And so the law of mentalism takes place in this lifetime and in past lifetimes. So it's working all the time, and the results of that thinking plays a role in what is deposited in your consciousness. Okay, so we start off with pure consciousness, but over lifetimes, we start developing some raisins or some blobs in our consciousness that kind of muck up the works. Next slide. So this is what you look like as pure consciousness. Okay, this is a pure glass of milk, white milk, clear consciousness at the very beginning. This is what it is like to be in alignment with source and to be in alignment with God. Just consciousness completely clear, nothing going on in there. And so next slide. And so as a result of our experiences through our lifetimes, we can accumulate guilt. When we're unconscious of our connection to God, we may have done things for survival's sake. We may have killed, we may have stolen, we may have done a whole lot of things in our previous lifetimes just to survive. And as a result of that, as our soul evolves and becomes more conscious to our connection with God or source energy, then we start feeling a little bit guilty about the things that we have done in the past. And so as a result, next slide, the glass of milk starts becoming clouded with these blobs of guilt. So maybe in a past life you stole, or maybe even this life you stole, and you're feeling guilt for that. Well, that guilt for doing that acts like a blob or a raisin, and it's deposited in that glass of milk or that glass of consciousness, the container of consciousness. And as time goes on, some of those blobs can swell up and become bigger because they have been there for a while, just like raisins do when they're in liquid for a long period of time. They plump up. and become more reticent or bigger. And so as a result, in our consciousness, we are holding these things that are blocking us from really connecting to our divinity or our source. So next slide. So one of the things that I do in my practice is called bioenergetic synchronization technique. And what this technique does is it looks at subconscious emotional memory patterns and breaks those patterns. And that subconscious emotional memory patterns can, the subconscious can be from this lifetime or from previous lifetimes. So holding past guilt about doing various things, past emotional trauma, all those kind of things can be stored in your consciousness and affecting how your nervous system runs, how your body runs as a result. And so what BEST does is it does like a control alt delete on your brain and your nervous system. And so that you can start from a new platform and not experience these issues. And so we are just souls. You can go to full screen now. We're just souls playing roles. Okay, I just want you to remember, just think about that for a second. We're just souls playing roles. And as a result of this, we accumulate a lot of gunk in our consciousness from past transgressions, past emotional trauma. And so another thing that I wanted to add with those raisins in the milk, they act like magnets. So for example, if in a prior life or even in this lifetime, you stole or you were an abuser. So they act like magnets in your consciousness. So what will happen is that you will attract to you circumstances that match that magnet. So if the magnet of being a thief, you will attract people who will steal from you or steal around you, and it will be in your awareness. Okay. Same thing with abuse. Let's say that you have suffered abuse and you're trying to figure out, why am I always being abused? Well, the reason, the energetic reason for it is that like attracts like. And in your consciousness, okay, like attracts like on the quantum level. And so in your consciousness, you have the reason of being an abuser. And so you have the reason of being an abuser. And so you're going to attract abuse to you until you heal the abuser that is you. Okay. So everything that is coming to you or everything that's coming in front of you is an opportunity to heal what's within you. It's really, if you think about it, it's really an elegant and ingenious system, because there is no doubt about what is yours to heal based on what is in front of you or what is presented in front of you in your life experience. So if you keep on experiencing people or your partner cheating on you, it doesn't make any difference. It starts off great and then they start acting the same way as the other partner. Well, it's no mistake that they start acting the same way as the other partner, because they're attracted to the magnet that is reflective of what you were. You were a philanderer or an adulterer or whatever you want to call it. And so that person is an energetic match and is showing you what you need to heal. So the unlearned lesson is, I was an adulterer, or I've cheated. And so in order for that not to happen anymore, you would want to clear that up out of your consciousness. You want to give that forth. That's the true meaning of forgiveness, giving forth the thing that is causing the disturbance to you. And you give it forth by opening your heart and truly and wholeheartedly meaning that I don't like how this feels. I don't like to be on the receiving end of it. Ingenious, helping, this whole thing is ingenious in that you get to experience the thing that you no longer want to have. And so when you open up your heart and you say, I don't like how this feels. I would like to let this go and give this forth completely. And I forgive myself for any transgressions, even if you don't remember what they are. It doesn't make any difference. Your evidence is that it's attracted to you and is in front of you. So please don't get hung up on the fact that I'm not an abuser or I haven't done this in this lifetime. Your soul is thousands of years old and has had multiple lifetimes to enter and has had multiple experiences. And your consciousness is holding that, not what's just happening in this lifetime. Okay. So please don't get caught up on that because that can be a painful delay in the healing process. You would want to heal the unlearned lessons that you have, your soul's unlearned lessons, and learn that. And the learning comes from, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't like how that feels. I choose to release this and then give it forth. Give it forth. And then watch how your life transforms. Now, I do this for a living. I help people get rid of this subconscious gunk. I help people realize that they're more than just a gross body, that they're energy, and there's more unseen of you than that there is seen. And as a result of energy, we have to really think in energetic terms, how energy works on a quantum level. Like attracts like. So if you want nice and great experiences, you would want to clear up your consciousness so that you can have light and great experiences. You would want to start thinking the law of mentalism, thinking positive thoughts, and actually living positively in order for that to happen. Okay. And so just watch how your life will transform while you release the conscious junk that has been around for who knows how long. But the great thing about it is that you get to experience it real time now so that you can clear it up and let it go. Like I said, it is an elegant, elegant, elegant system. There is no guesswork in this system. The only guesswork is when you try to con yourself that there's something else other than what's in front of you that needs to be healed. That's the only thing. And that's not really guesswork at all. That's just denial. Okay. So do we have any questions? I know I've said a lot so far. And so is there anything else that anyone would like to contribute or anything from last week that wasn't cleared up thus far that you still have questions on? Good morning, Stacy. Good seeing you. Also from the Facebook community, would like to hear any feedback from you. Last week, the Facebook was on fire because of what was being shared. New concepts, but ancient concepts that are finally just being revealed here so that you can really take advantage of the opportunity to heal on an energetic level, not just with potion and pills and chants and oils and everything else in the physical world, but just really understanding that, hey, Stacy, how are you? Really understanding that we are energy. And as a result, you really need to start thinking in energetic terms. I've been on this, the Woo community a couple of times, a few times prior to this, and I was speaking about the heart and how the heart is the center, the energy center of the body. It's the fourth energy center of the body. So let me just go and review those. First one being the root chakra or the root energy center, which is at the base of the pelvis. The sacral chakra, or the second energy center, which is right below the navel. Third energy center is right below the ribs. It's also known as the solar plexus chakra. The fourth energy center is the center of the chest. It's also known as the heart chakra. Fifth energy center is the throat. Sixth energy center is the third eye. And the seventh energy center is the crown. And then we also have one above our heads. These energy centers are just vortexes of energy, and they have different frequencies, and they have different colors associated with these frequencies. So the number one would be red, number two would be orange, number three would be yellow, number four would be green, thus the green that I have on, denoting the heart energy center. Number five is blue, number six is purple, and number seven is dark amethyst, or depending on what you read, white. The one above is also white. And we need to really understand these energy centers because they're governing us. So just because you're unaware of them does not mean that they don't exist. They do exist. And so your heart chakra, or the energy number four, is the middle point of these seven chakras. And so the lower chakras, 1 through 3, have to do with a lot of the physical, our physicality, creativity, our reproductive centers are down there, our digestion is down there, survival, comfort, all these things are our will to move through things, or power through things. All these are governed by the lower 3 chakras. Okay. Then we have our heart right in the middle. And then above that, we have 5, 6, and 7. And so 5 is about speaking divine truth, speaking real truth. 6 is about seeing true vision, not just with our eyes, but actually seeing and cutting through all the noise and actually seeing what is really true. And then the 7th is the crown chakra, which is the portal to our divinity, our source energy. Okay, but in the center we have the heart, and so the heart is the intersection of the upper chakras energy, upper energy, higher frequency energy, or spirit, and matter, or lower frequency energy. And our heart is also the seat of our soul. It's also known as the Christ because of how it sits in our chest. The Christ is a term, a sacred geometry term that has to do with the intersection of spirit and matter. And so we have Charmaine the Christ, and we have Louise the Christ, because the Christ sits in our chest as our hearts. And so since the heart is the seat of the soul, and our soul has had several incarnations, and our soul and our consciousness holds all these different things that blocks our ability to connect with the divine, we would want to correct those imperfections, those things that we're holding guilt for, so that we can feel and live perfect, whole, and complete, or go back to original design, how we were originally designed, perfect, whole, and complete. So we have to give forth the things that are in our hearts that are causing these problems. So if you remember, if you get my book Core Perfectum, and this is not a plug, this is just actually because it's in the book. And if you get my book Core Perfectum, I go into detail about the sacred geometry of the heart. The 7th chakra is the crown chakra, and it's the portal to the upper chakras. Thank you, Afula. So if you go to Core Perfectum, there's a chapter in the about the sacred geometry of the heart. There's a chapter about how the heart is formed embryologically, and all the physiologically and all the physiology and anatomy about the heart is in there. There's a chapter about how the heart communicates with all the different parts of the body. So your heart is playing a central role in your health. So you will want to clear up anything that is impeding on how your heart can act as a transducer of taking higher vibration and higher frequency thoughts and energy and transmuting that into a physical experience. Heart disease is the number one killer of people, even with COVID going on. In fact, is one of the number one cofactors in contributing to COVID deaths, cardiovascular problems. Okay. So heart disease is the number one killer. It's number one by a huge amount, and the reason why heart disease is number one is not because of diet, is not because you're not getting enough exercise, is not because of all these other things that have been listed that once even you make these corrections don't really work. It has everything, 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 everything. Thank you, Cheryl, for that, for listing all the different chakras. Has everything to do with consciousness. So if your consciousness is not cleaned up, you're going to have heart problems. As a result, just on the fact, just the basic facts of what the heart is doing and what the heart is. It is the seat of your soul. And so if your soul is gunky because of all the stuff that is in there from past lives that are showing you, you have the opportunity to heal it because it's being shown to you what you need to heal. You would want to start shifting your conversation from why is this happening to me to what is this informing me, so that you can know what you need to heal and release and let go of, so that your consciousness can be clear. Any questions? I know I've said a lot. I know I've given you a lot to chew on. However, this is a conversation that I think needs to be had because it's just it's overdue. It's
Yeah.
overdue.
Yeah. So Dr. Jewa, this is a lot. And like last week, I think it was last week, Tuesday, when you came and talked about this, I feel like there is churning of people's minds. We don't have any questions in the chat. So I'd like to ask if there is anybody that has a question about anything that was shared today or last week for the doctor. If you raise your electronic hand or you drop your question into the chat, we can acknowledge it at this time. Because there are no questions in the chat right now. Yes, Stacy, we are engaged and listening and taking it in. And it's a lot of information and it's a lot to take in and understand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Naja, there is a question from Facebook from Sister Kathleen. It just says Kathleen. She says, how does one move from family constellation to this level of personal healing, which appears to be specific to patterns, addictive behavior, lower vibrational or energy healing?
So family constellations, I'm going to assume, I don't want to assume because I'm going to answer. And if I'm not on the mark, if she could follow up with another to refine her question and see if I'm on point with what she's asking. So is no accident of the family that you're born into. You're born into a family that has the same consciousness or the same kind of group consciousness that is necessary for the lesson that your soul wants to learn this time around. So if you are born into addictive parents, the lesson that you are looking to overcome is addiction. Okay. And so that's the reason that has an opportunity to be healed just based on your life experiences. You get to see it in front of you. It's magnetized to you. You may move from your parents' house and then go and have a partner. And the partner has a shopping addiction. Okay. It's just, so the overall theme could be just addiction, not just substance abuse or any kind of, it doesn't make any difference what kind of substance or anything else. It could be just addiction. It could be the overarching theme that needs to be healed. But your family plays a huge role because they are in front of you and they're presenting all this information based on life experiences. And so that's what I got from that. And Wendy asked if there are any other diseases other than heart disease that contribute to the chakras. And I would have to say that, here we go, most disease is heart disease, just based on how the heart works. The heart, and I'm going to refer you to my book, Core Perfectum. What you don't know about your heart may be killing your life. You can find it on Amazon in paperback and an ebook. And I'm in the process of doing an audiobook that should be done by June, an audiobook for Core Perfectum, so that you can listen to it and get this information as well. So most disease is heart disease, and just for the mere fact of what the heart does. The heart it informs the brain and your nervous system on how to function properly. And so as a result, your nervous system will respond differently because your heart is responding differently. Your heart is the conductor of all the systems of the body. Energetically, your heart is in communication with all the different systems of your body. And so when you're in high vibration, good feeling thoughts, your heart will beat in a certain pattern. And as a result, the systems of your body, different systems like your gastrointestinal system, which is your digestion system, your hormonal systems, your respiratory system, all these different systems have their own frequency when they're operating. And so when the heart is optimal and you're in great vibration, having a great feeling and good experiences, your heart beats in a certain rhythm, in a certain pattern, and it sends out signals energetically in a certain way. And as a result, the other systems of your body will try to match that frequency. It's called resonance. And so, and entrainment, it's, the heart is training the other systems how to perform optimally. And so whenever you've had a good feeling experience, and I know all of us have had this, you're like you're in the zone. You're having a high vibration experience, you're feeling great. Everything seems to flow perfectly. Time seems to go by quickly because of the heightened experience, the high vibration experience. And everything's just running the way that it's supposed to. That is being in the flow. You can also, I think the best example of watching people in flow is watching athletes when they're really on their game. They can't miss a shot. They do amazing things, and and I remember, I'm dating myself, but I remember when I was living in Chicago, and I was living in Chicago at the time when the Bulls were having that fantastic run of championships, the second three-peat. And there was one game where Michael Jordan just could not miss anything. He just started laughing because it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is an amazing feeling. And we have experienced these things too when we're in high vibration and we're doing something that we love. And so all the organ systems of the body are working in concert, and the heart, your heart, energetically is sending signals to all the systems of your body, every cell in your body, to make that happen. So you can see how important the heart is in making sure that not making sure that, everything is running right, but when the heart is impacted, it affects all the systems of the bodies as well. So your hormonal system is affected, your reproductive system is affected. So I would say that heart disease is a precursor to all disease. And so it's no accident that heart disease is the #1 killer of people in the United States, or in the Western world, just because of the huge role that it plays in our existence, and not just helping move blood through the body, which is just a minor role of what it does. And it really, get my book, you know that the heart is not a pump. It's just too much information right now, but I've talked about that in previous sessions. So you should know this, woo community, that the heart is not a pump, right? It's doing more than that. But it's just doing a whole lot. So energetically, your heart is pivotal in your overall health, and it's pivotal from an energetic point of view. Your heart is the seat of your consciousness. Your heart is the seat of the soul. So you want to know that your consciousness is right. You want to know that your thinking and what your thoughts are right, because all of that affects your physical being. So you have your unlearned lessons from previous incarnations and this incarnation. You have how you think now and how your thoughts are impacting your body now. You think or feel emotion, a low vibration emotion like sorrow. And it's no accident when you feel sorrow, your heart feels heavy, because energetically it's operating at a denser or lower kind of frequency than it would at an elevated emotion of happiness. Your heart feels light. These euphemisms are no accident. They actually reflect what is going on in the heart. It feels heavy because it's a low or denser frequency when you're feeling lower emotions. It feels light when you're feeling positive emotions. So the heart plays a pivotal role energetically in all of your health, all of it, not part of it, all of it. So I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, please put it in the chat so that I can respond accordingly. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, there's another question, Dr. Jewa. Ama Doma is on Facebook, and she says, is it as simple as stating, I no longer want to feel this. I forgive myself for any past transgressions. And I believe she's referring to when you stated resolving any past transgressions that you've done in previous or earlier
Right.
your life. So how do you move past that?
Yeah, it is that simple. The key part of it is that you have to really, really mean it and be wholehearted with that. Sincerely feel it in your heart that you want to give that up. It's not just words. You're not flapping your lips and just saying it. You have to feel that, yes, I really, really am giving this up and giving this forth. I really do not want to experience this anymore, and just feel the release of the burden of that release from you. And then, yes, that's the simplicity of it. The difficulty comes in from really meaning it and being wholehearted with it and actually feeling it, and allowing yourself to release from it. There are several different techniques that are out there that help. There's a technique called Ho'oponopono. I mentioned that last week. It's a technique that was developed, and I swear I can't remember. It's Dr. Liu, I want to say, is his name. I think he's a psychologist, psychiatrist. I don't want to misrepresent him, but he is famous for helping heal an entire psychiatric ward in a hospital, just by, not by talking to them and having talk therapy, but just by going into their files and performing Ho'oponopono, by looking at what they had as their symptoms. So his philosophy was this mirroring what I'm saying here. If I'm seeing this, if I'm seeing someone in front of me that has this, then I'm going to forgive it within myself, and as a result, heal everyone that's associated with that, because my consciousness is clear. They're no longer, they can't be like that in front of me. And so if I'm going to be at this hospital working here, and I'm going to be here every day, then either they're going to have to leave physically or they're going to have to change consciously. So his concept of this was that if I clean up my consciousness, then everyone else's consciousness will be affected as well, which is true. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. That is a lesson in A Course in Miracles, which means that when I clean up the marks and the raisins in my consciousness, then the people in front of me would have to heal too. Either they have to move away physically because they're not an energetic match, or they would have to rise up to where I am. And so yes, Ho'oponopono works that way in helping heal something within you and the community that you are in front of. I encourage you to look that up, Ho'oponopono. Okay, so can I say or type what it is before you release? Okay, so this is what I usually do, because I know that when okay, no problem, Stacy. I will say them over for you. I say these things because they're I like to use practical experiential stuff when I'm doing energetic work, because it can feel foreign or new agey, depending on who is doing it. I like to do it from a practical point of view, you know. So if you're feeling negative emotions or low vibration emotions, and believe me, disease processes are correlated with a low vibration emotion. I have never seen a happy sick person, truly, ever. I mean, they may have a behavior modification of like, oh, okay, I'm okay, but really, there is not a sick person is usually a low vibration person, and they have no way of being anything otherwise, just based on energetic principles. So what I would say is, after experiencing something that, for example, let's say that I experienced someone uh, what's some stuff? Oh, someone disrespecting me. Okay, and they're just it was really harsh, and it really and I've been getting this disrespect from different kind of ways, and so I realized it must be that it's a theme. It's not just a one and done thing. It's a theme. People are disrespecting me, and so I must have been disrespecting, or in this lifetime, or in a past lifetime. Okay, and so as a result, I'm magnetizing to me situations where I am disrespected. So if you think of a full circle, okay, so starting at 12 o'clock, as a perpetrator of the deed, I was disrespecting. Okay, let me do it this way so you can see. Okay, disrespecting. Okay, now I'm at 6 o'clock. Now I get to experience what it feels to be disrespected, and that's a full circle experience for your soul. And so now you get to have a chance to heal it before you experience it all over again. Okay. And what will happen is that if you don't learn the lesson, you'll drop down to 6 o'clock and then just keep on getting disrespected over and over again, until finally you release it. And so what I would say is, I would remember the last time I was feeling disrespected and how it felt. So you want to go back to the memory of feeling that way. I really, really, really don't like how I felt. And feel it in your heart. Go back to that experience. I really don't like how that felt. And I choose to let this go. I choose to release this. And I forgive myself for however I may have disrespected others. And I truly apologize for the feeling that I inflicted upon them, because I really don't like how this feels. and I give this forth, and really mean it, really mean it. And so you can see how you feel afterwards. If you feel a little bit lighter afterwards, that's a good sign. And if you go through, and you encounter the person who disrespected you the last time and they're acting totally different, they're nice and everything else and no problems whatsoever, then that's a clue. That's a sign that that's been healed, because it's no longer magnetized to you in that way. So if you had, I tell people that you have highly paid consultants and highly paid energetic consultants. And these are the people that always come in your face and do the things that you hate. They get on your nerves, they argue with you. Thank you. Hugh Len, thank you. Hugh Len is the mastermind behind Ho'oponopono. Thank you for that. Could not remember his name. Okay. So look that up and there's plenty of videos on YouTube, and there are articles about how to do Ho'oponopono. Okay. So but go back to your highly paid consultant. You have highly paid consultants in your life. And these are the people that show you the things you need to heal, whether or not you like it or not. These are the people that get on your nerves. These are the people who are argumentative or abusive or full court of atonement. Zakia mentioned that. Okay, so full court of atonement. Yes. Thank you for that reference. So your highly paid consultants are the people in your life that show you the things that you need to heal, basically. They're always in your face, doing something that irritates the hell out of you, okay? And so if it irritates the hell out of you, that's a clue. It's a clue that you need to heal this, okay? So my son, God bless him, is my highly paid consultant. Through his teen years, he showed me a whole lot. I mean, and as a result, I was able to identify what I needed to heal and heal it. And what's so interesting about this, because I teach my children law, universal law, and I teach them, about this whole thing about energy and how it works. And he called me the other day and he says, "Ma," it's like, oh my God, I ran into this guy, and this guy reminds me of me. He reminds me of how I was treating you. And he says, oh my God, now I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of this. And he irritates the hell out of me. And I said, I guess you need to heal. I said, yeah, I guess I need to heal it. And so, so Wendy says her husband is her highly paid consultant. Yes, it's usually somebody really close to you, husband, parent, siblings, children. And so, yes. Yeah. And so just notice the patterns that they're showing you. Are they showing you anger? Are they showing you judgment? Are they showing you pettiness? What are they showing you? Then you know what you need to clear up in your consciousness, so that you can ultimately heal. Do we have any other questions before we move on to the 8 o'clock hour? We're almost there.
I don't see any questions in the chat. I'd like to call on someone just to ask them how this message is resonating for them.
Okay.
Does
I
that
know
make
there's a lot of silence this time around as
There
opposed to last.
is. There is. So I'd like to call on Jennifer Lampel. We don't often hear your voice. And are you willing to come on and share with us what is coming up for you?
Sure. Just give me 1 second. I'm not gonna come on camera right now.
That's
Not a
fine.
good idea for me to come onto camera. Okay. What's coming up for me is, I have experienced, I've experienced disrespectful situations, and when I experienced the disrespectful situations at that time, I didn't understand what was driving it. And so like I'm definitely interested in looking up the Ho'opono. I work with patients who all right, so there's a bunch of things that came up with me. Like, so I work with patients who are sick and they're not happy about being sick. And so I also do energy healing work as well myself. And probably one of my favorite things to do is to work with patients just to help provide a little bit of calm in their experience of being with disease. And then what's always in the back of my mind is that, someday that could be me, someday that will be me. Um, the other, I was listening, I came in at the tail end of this conversation. The other thing that came up for me was the heart, the conversation around the heart, and I didn't hear the full conversation. So I had to, but of what I picked up, I really think that it's interesting because we are, for the majority of us in the United States, we are a sedentary nation. We don't get a lot of exercise for the heart, and it really explains, why I'm really interested in how, the heart disease, I'm fully in line with that. I think that's like brilliant how heart disease maps out, other diseases that show up with our body. Say, and it's not just the heart, it's also with the breath as well too. Like when the heart is off and the breathing is off, when we can't receive air, that also I think it goes hand in hand. I think that's, like what gives us life and gives us our energy. Um, I'm very curious about the Ho'opono. Somebody has recommended it to me, so I'm really interested in looking that up. And in terms of, transgressions, I think, I come from a background of alcoholism, addiction. And so, one thing that I have to, give props to my mother for is being a person who wanted to break the cycle. And I am curious to hear about, you know, uh, I also think, when people bring about what is the word? A transgression now, like it comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere. It definitely comes from somewhere that is not healed. And I really appreciate, like I'm in the work right now, taking care of things that have not been healed for me. And definitely people who show me pettiness, it's almost like, am I going to even receive the communication? Like I have that choice if I'm going to receive it. um, and standing in, who I am and knowing where I'm coming from. I fully appreciate, how, um, like the healing radiates from me. When the healing radiates from me, then I look forward to it showing up in my space, if that makes sense. So, and which I think is definitely in line with everything that was in within the tail end of the conversation. So, and that's what I had to say. I'm sorry I'm not on camera right now. It's really not appropriate for me to be on camera. So that being said, I'm getting ready for work. So that being said, I want to thank you for inviting me into this conversation. Always, these conversations are super powerful. It's shed so much light on so many things that I am addressing right now, and I just need to acknowledge you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And since we are at the 8 o'clock hour, I would like to thank those who were able to join us, who may have to go off and go to work. Those on the Facebook community, thank you for joining us for day 323. That's deep in the the Wake Up Everybody community. For those of you here online with us on Zoom, thank you for joining us. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you in our next call. So I'm speaking from the heart, about the heart from an energetic perspective. And so I'm looking at heart disease and how consciousness can play a role, a huge role, in how our hearts function, and also in disease processes in our body. So every physical complaint is an unlearned lesson. Every physical complaint is an expression of an unlearned lesson. So the energetics of the heart is what I'm focusing on, because that's something that's not really talked about um, in everyday conversation. And we really would want to start having conversations about energy, um, and how we're energetic beings, and the full realization of that, apart from chakras, which are just 7 energy centers. We're just talking, and that's just energy centers in the body, in that line the spine. But the fact that we're energetic beings having a physical experience. So what does that mean in relations to our health? So if we are emanations of the divine, I am that I am. I'm perfect, whole, and complete, because we are perfect, whole, and complete. We're just not realizing that because we have all this gunk or interference in our consciousness. And so once we clear the interference, the platform of perfect, whole, and complete, though that glass of white milk will be what, is still there. It hasn't changed. It's not changing at all. What is affecting our experience of perfect, whole, and complete are the raisins or the gunk in our consciousness. And so if we clear up our consciousness, then we can have a full realization, a full experience of perfect, whole, and complete. And we clear up our consciousness by removing those energetic raisins, by looking at our daily experience and seeing what's in front of us that needs to be healed. Like I said, there is absolutely no guesswork in what needs to be healed. You just need to be awake or woke to what's in front of you and not in denial. I know that one of the hardest things that people that come into my practice have is shifting from victim mode to informed mode. There's a tendency like, why is this happening to me? Oh my gosh, this is happening to me. I have this, I have that, and as opposed to informing mode, and a denial of um, that they have done some stuff. You may be a good person, but you may have done some things that have clouded your consciousness. You may be holding guilt for doing some things. You may have stolen. You may have, had relations with people who were related to other people. You may have abused. You may have done a whole host of things. And consciously, you may have forgiven yourself, but subconsciously, it may still be playing a huge role in how your development or your connection with source energy is playing out. And so what I'm saying is just roll up your sleeves and start looking at what is going on in your life. What are the conversations that you're having with the people with you? What is the emotional feelings that you're feeling during the course of the day? Are you having low vibration feelings for the most of the day? Are you, alternating between high and low? Or are you having mostly high vibration thoughts during the day, thoughts and emotions during the day? These things matter. And so once you are aware that energy and how it plays out in your body and your existence is meaningful and not just something that happens, the whole conversation changes about health and wellness. there's a level of personal responsibility that takes place for minding your thoughts, minding your emotions, picking and choosing what you choose to experience in the form of thoughts and emotions. Um, that it plays a huge role. And your heart is the center of it all. Your heart is the center of it all. Any other questions or comments? We are, still have some time.
This is Stacy. I have my hand raised.
Hi,
Grand
Stacy.
Rising, Auntie Queen Doctor.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you. Looking lovely in your green. So I caught some of the playback from last week and I got on when it was late, but still didn't get like all of the juice. So today I'm getting more of it. And I know I did ask, how do you start to, like, what is it as far as the process of releasing whatever those energies are? So I know you said something about the clock, like, the clock, and then to have it like if you were disrespected or being, is it that you sort of like if you were where you were being disrespectful and then go around like and just see where it's at so that you can release that before it comes back. So am I literally saying like, okay, well, I don't know, like I'm sorry, like I'm releasing where I was disrespectful in this life, in the past life. Like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of what is, and I might just be looking for the right thing to say, like we like to do, or I'll like to do, I'll speak for myself, like to get it right. So
Okay.
I'm just thinking, so yes,
can you point to something that has happened to you recently that really upset you? Or not even upset you, but just kind of like, ugh, kind of
I
thing.
was very annoyed. This just happened yesterday. It's somebody who I used to work with, like she used to be on the team of mine. We're both leaders in a capacity. And she sent me a text message off of the chat, but it was like answering. I think I asked people if someone's available, and then she texted me like, I can't. And I was like, so what you text me you for if you can't? Like, instead of, I didn't say that. I made it sound a bit more cheery, because it's a text message, and text messages can really set people off with the tone. And then she gave me like all of this stuff after, and just like, oh, because she brought herself into it, like, oh, because they told me not to ask last minute. I think that's what she really wanted to say, was to point to me like I'm asking last minute, but that was her way of maybe getting to it. Like, oh, well, I asked last minute and it doesn't work and I have surgery. And she started going all, and I said, what the hell is she talking about? So I was about to text her back, and I did a voice text, like just so I could get out. Sometimes I text people and I don't hit the send. Like I look at it, I'm like, Stacy, you want to read that message? Is that going to be, is it going to create something? And I said, my spirit said, Stacy, delete the message. Don't respond. Just shut up. Just stop it. And it's so funny. I was like, oh, and I went downstairs because I was on the way to meet somebody downstairs. And I told them, I was like, oh, it's so annoying. And then there's a little part of me, I'm telling you, there's a little part that was like, where are you like that with someone? But I stepped, I didn't want to address it. It was like, oh, I ain't got time for this. Like, I don't got time for this. Don't be trying to tell me this is her annoying me, but I know, and I know as a healer, and I know that when yours is like what shows up in your space, because she did it to me last week on the call in the classroom, and I was like, I wasn't even talking to her. Why is she coming from me? But it's not, she's paid. I wrote it down, thus that the highly paid consultant, like the energetic consultant, like, oh, aha. So really just get this, even talking to you right now, just getting those lessons and thinking of the lines of people, like, who are all those people and where I do those things, and to be like, that's annoying. I'm going to stop that. Like, that doesn't work. What I have to put in place so that I'm not, that. But I do want to know like how, what I'm saying, so that I can flow. And I'm going to do this today, like now, like after this, so I can keep releasing.
Exactly. So yeah, you really want to make it heartfelt. So
Yeah.
remember that irritation. Remember, you really feel it. I mean, you really take the opportunity to feel how irritated you were. And you're like, oh my gosh, I really don't like how this feels. I
Mhm.
really don't like how this feels. I choose not to feel this way anymore. I choose not to do the thing that brought this feeling to me.
Mm.
I choose not to do the thing that brought this feeling to me. So if the person was telling me that I was a procrastinator, and that irritated me, then I choose not to be a procrastinator anymore. I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to release procrastination
Mm.
because I don't like how it feels to be, called that or have that happen to me. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, totally. So
And
I
then
have some.
just let it go. I mean, but the key part is to actually feel it and just actually release that feeling, heartfelt.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah.
like you said, you want to deny that you've done it, but there's no way that you can experience it unless you've done it.
Right. Right. That's so good. And then um also for things that's past, because I know last week when I came in, people were talking about like, oh, I'm a cheater. This is when I've cheated. Oh, so I'm thinking of all the things that I have done in the past, even though I'm not that now. I still can still do those as well to release that past way of
Yes.
being those. Okay,
Yes.
absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. So are you gonna be able to make it on Saturday? I
Oh,
have
that's your what time is it? Is it 10 to 12?
10 to 12:30.
Because I clicked on it. It's $28, right? It's something
Yes.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are we gonna put the link back in the chat today so I could?
Sure will. Sure will.
Okay, yes, yes. Thank you. Thanks for the
You're
reminder.
welcome. Yeah, on Saturday, we're going to use the technique that I use in my practice called BEST, bioenergetic synchronization technique, to really help people release this. That's a technique that I use in my practice to help people release the subconscious stuff, the stuff that they may not even be conscious of, memory patterns, emotional memory patterns, emotional memories. Um, we'll be doing a lot of that. We'll be doing some heart work um, uh, in this seminar that will actually help open up the heart and release some energy and connect to the energy field that surrounds us and supports us through our beingness. So very important stuff. Shifting the conversation from healing on a physical level, because we're physical bodies, but the fact of the matter is that if your body, if your beingness were a train, like a choo-choo train, your thoughts and your emotions are the engine, and your body is the caboose. So energetically, our thoughts are unseen, our emotions are unseen but felt. In our body, we can see and feel. So those different frequencies of energy that we're talking about: thoughts, unseen, emotions felt, and then body can be seen and felt. Okay, so denser energy, lower frequency is the body, higher frequency are our thoughts and emotions. So that train of beingness, our train of beingness, the engine are our thoughts and emotions. And the caboose, or the back of the train, is our body. So our body is the last thing to know or receive information. Yes, the workshop is virtual and it will be on Zoom. Okay. And I'll have the link at the end. So yes, so your thoughts and your emotions are triggering all these different responses, and your body responds in kind with a physical manifestation of a physical ailment. So your body is the last to know. So if you want to switch anything or you want to change anything, you want to change at root cause, not at effects, because your symptoms, your physical symptoms, are just effects of your thoughts and emotions. Is that clear? So if you want to experience real change in your body, you don't do it by taking a drug or having a pill or going, getting adjustment or having a massage, those are great things. The massage and the chiropractic, those can be great things, but they're passive and they really are not addressing root cause. If you want to address root cause, you want to go to thoughts and emotions, change your consciousness, change your body, change your life. It's that simple. Different conversation, but it's an impactful conversation. And I know that it works because I have seen it work. I've been in practice for over 20 years now. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I just thought about that. I've been in practice for over 20 years now. And 15 of those years, I've been practicing as a mind body medicine practitioner with Best. And the things that I have seen, you would not believe. You have to, I could tell you, and watching people change their mind about things and watching hives disappear just with a thought. Watching people who've had pain, chronic pain for years, just change their mind and get rid of this gunk and their pain go away. So it's not airy fairy. It's not, I don't even know what you want to call it. I mean, because it's just a part of me for so long that I don't even think of it. I just think of it as normal, thinking about us as energy, as opposed to bodies. Bodies is just a small part of our energetic profile. And so when we start thinking of ourselves as energy and pure consciousness, and we are attempting in our work, for those people who are on this call, I know that people who are on a self awareness, self-realization path, path to elevation, a path to divinity, going back to oneness, all of that requires you looking at your thoughts and your emotions and cleaning it up. That's the only interference from you and connecting truly with your divinity, with your source. Any questions or comments before we wrap up? Because we're almost done.
Yes.
So there is a comment from Facebook that I'll read. It's from Kathleen, and she says, "This makes us fully responsible for our consciousness, subconscious and conscious mind, and how we can contribute to our healing daily by paying attention to the relationships with the people that are the highly paid consultants that have been assigned by the divine." Amal shares that this is a journey of a lifetime.
Yes. Yes, multiple lifetimes. Soul's journey. Like I said, we're just souls playing roles. And every incarnation, we have the opportunity to experience a different set of lessons, a different set of experiences, and all for the elevation of ourselves back to oneness.
Yes. So Dr. Jewa, I know Stacy has her hand raised. Would you like to hear from someone else as well before you move to completing your conversation for today?
Yeah, whomever has their hand raised, that'd be great.
Okay, so Stacy.
Hi, so this is what my next question is, Doctor. It's for Saturday, or just in this part that when you do this healing work, do you is that incorporation of like healing on the astral plane? Because that is something that I do daily. I know you guys mentioned full court of atonement. I said, well, I actually do those daily as well. Is it also, because I know that you're when I think of you, I think of like a round ball, like it's like full circle. So it's just like energy and all this other like greatness balled up into one. So not that to say that if it's one way, because of course there's different ways. I was just curious if that's something also on the healing, like on the astral plane, is that something that's a part of it?
I wouldn't know how to answer that because I just deal with the energy body in total. If it reaches the astral plane, so be it. I just know that I deal with the energy body and helping with that. And so I have no idea how to answer that, Stacy. I hope that helps.
Well, no worries. Thank you. And I'll be there.
Okay. All right, anyone else? Thank you, Stacy.
So there
Okay.
are no other hands raised. Would you like to move forward, or would you like for us to call on someone else in the community?
We can actually go back to the slides.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you, Terry. All right, so I'm a studier of A Course in Miracles. I've been reading A Course in Miracles probably since 2008. And lesson 70 in A Course in Miracles says, my salvation comes from me, which means that just like what I think Kathleen was saying, that we're taking full responsibility for our life experience, for our consciousness, for what is happening to us physically, what is happening to us emotionally, and really rolling our sleeves up and living an informed and awake and present moment life. You know, what's happened to me in the present moment, what's in front of my face right here, right now, that I get to appreciate and enjoy and learn from. And so my salvation comes from me is a powerful lesson for all of us, to just remember that our outside experiences are informing us of what we need to heal internally. Our outside experiences are not meant to victimize us, because based on the law of polarity, I don't know what's going on with the slides, but okay. Well, based on the law of polarity, um, on one side, the left side, you have the perfect, whole, and complete in the pole of beingness. Perfect, whole, and complete. And then on the right side of the pole, you have our existence as we experience it here on the earth plane. So you would want to identify with the left side of the pole, perfect, whole, and complete, or God consciousness, as opposed to egoic or ego body consciousness on the right side of the pole. So if you look at your experience as something informing you, as opposed to feeling a victim of it, because you cannot be God and victim at the same time. They're exact polar opposites. So you want to choose God consciousness, or the left side of the pole, and start learning these lessons so that you can ascend, so you can fly. You get rid of the baggage so you can fly. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. So next slide is the green door. And that's a euphemism for the heart. So the green, and the reason why it's called the green door is because the color associated with the energy center of the heart is the color green. That's why I wear this green shirt. So when you think about the heart, so yes, the green door, the seat of the soul, the Christ seat, represented by the fourth chakra, and the gateway to the fifth, sixth, seventh, or the upper energy centers. And so when we think about the heart from now on, I would like for you to think of the color green as opposed to the color red, which is, and the reason being is that the color red is associated with the root chakra, or the base chakra, which has to do with everything with survival, and security, and those kind of energies. Totally lower energies. The heart chakra is a higher frequency, vibrating at a higher frequency, and the color is green, which is also a higher vibration color than red. So the heart has to do with the intersection of spirit and matter. It is a creative center. It is a portal to your divinity. And so it's totally different energy than red. So green And you just look at the lushness around that door and then plants. And you just think of the color green. Green has a calming effect. Red, on the other hand, it kind of amps you up. You feel kind of saucy and spicy and sexy when you wear red. I know that my ex-husband was in the Navy. He would say that the Marines in their quarters, the floors, as opposed to being painted that navy gray, were painted red. And it was by no accident that they were painted red, because the red has a heightened um, hyped up kind of energy to it. And so they were being prepped for war, prepped for aggression, with that color red. And so start thinking green when you start thinking about the heart. And that's more in alignment with what the heart is really doing, um, energetically on a day-to-day basis. Next slide, please. So the heart and healing, a lot of healing can take place in the heart. And that's what we're going to be doing, with this Saturday. We're going to be looking at how you can heal through your heart. And one of the techniques that I'll be using during this session on Saturday is BEST, bioenergetic synchronization technique. We'll also may be doing some meditation work. Meditation has a tendency, if done a certain way, of opening up the heart and having you connected to source energy. So we'll be exploring that as well, really connecting to your heart. So I would like to take a moment, if I may, before we wrap up today, and giving you something that you can use right here, right now, to open up your heart and connect to the field. And I don't need the music for this. I'm not going to use the music for this. I had some music. You can do it without the music. I would actually rather you not do it with the music. So I want you to understand that it's accessible at any time, anywhere you are, eyes open, eyes closed. No special circumstances that you need in order to connect to your heart. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to focus our awareness on our hearts and the center of our chest, actually. You're going to focus your awareness at the center of your chest, which is your heart center. And now that you have your awareness there, you just an awareness of what that area is. Just notice how that area feels. And so what you're going to do is you're going to imagine yourself breathing in and out of that center. So breathing in and out of that center. If you want to imagine white light coming in to that center, you can. As you're breathing in and out, you can breathe in and out through your nose. You can do it with your eyes open. You may want to start off with your eyes closed so that you can have a more focus on the feeling and the sensation of this air going in and out of your heart, in and out of your heart center. And so as you're breathing, just notice and allow your heart to expand. Allow that area to expand while you're breathing in and out. Just allow it to expand. Allow your body to relax. Nice full breathing. And then if you can just focus on something that you feel grateful, thankful for, the feeling of appreciation, something that you appreciate. And it could be something small. You can appreciate the view out your window. You can appreciate having your favorite cup of tea. You can appreciate the flowers that you see, or your husband or your spouse, your partner. You can appreciate your children and the feelings that they bring for you. The whole goal is to elevate yourself with a feeling of appreciation. So breathing in and out of that heart center, focusing on the feeling of appreciation. Just allow yourself to feel that. Allow that feeling to expand and radiate. And this is just one simple thing that is portable. You don't need a special app or a device or music that you can do. You just need your breath and your attention and your intention to make this work. How many of you felt something with that? You can put your comments in the chat. You can raise your hand. Facebook community, you can put comments in the comments section.
Dr. Jewa Lea, we do have Mama Amal. She has her hand raised. Mama Amal, if you may come off mute.
Yes, but I felt, and I feel a little emotional because I really appreciate my daughters. They showed me a beautiful Mother's Day this year, the other day. And I really appreciate my life, where I am in my life, having a master teacher like Isis, Maristat, Fuqua, and all my other teachers and coaches that I've had in my life. I just am so grateful, just absolutely so thankful. Thank you.
Thank you, Amal. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else have any comments or an experience just from that simple exercise? Feeling content, Zakia or Z, she's feeling content and looking forward. Amen to that. All right. So next slide, please. So the heart and healing, that's what we're going to be focusing on this Saturday. So this is me. Go back to this other slide. Go for it. Thank you. The heart and healing. So this is me. Core Perfectum is the book. This is what the cover looks like. Wendy said, I felt my heart expanding and a little heavy. Continue with the breathing, Wendy, and allow your heart to start feeling lighter. The goal is to actually feel an expansion or a lightness with that exercise. So keep breathing. Allow your awareness to go into the heart, breathe in and out, and allow that energy from your heart to expand outward. And the feeling of appreciation. Just focus on that while you're breathing. Okay. So this is a cover of my book, and of course I have the green door, and it's called Core Perfectum, What You Don't Know About Your Heart May Be Killing Your Life. It is available in ebook and in paperback on Amazon. I'm currently doing an audiobook. It should be done by June, fingers crossed. I've recorded everything. It's just in the process of being being edited and mastered. Stacy says that her heart feels expansive. So that's great. That's perfect. That's what we want. That's the goal. That's the target, is to feel expansive in your heart, to feel elevated, creating a resonance. And so that those organ systems can entrain to that resonant frequency of your heart. And so that you can have a life of flow and ease. That's the goal. Okay. Hey, Cheryl. Yes. So it's heavy at first and now feeling lighter. Perfect. Next slide. So Shift Happens is the class that I'm offering this weekend, this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And the fee is $27. I have 28, 27. I think it's 27. And to register, you would go to store.drjewa.com. All right. We already have a few people already signed up. We're looking forward to having more to experience a shift, a welcomed shift, and just allow yourself to experience health and wellness from a different and energetic perspective. I'm sure you will be amazed I just had a retreat with some ladies here in Detroit. It was a highly impactful experience for them. Oh, so $27 is the correct amount for this amazing workshop. Thank you, Charmaine. So I just recently, this past weekend, had a retreat with women who had a highly impactful experience um, in health and wellness and in consciousness. And they will never, ever be the same as a result of it. And so if you're looking forward to something like that, the introduction to this whole conversation will be taking place this weekend and at Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The fee is $27. The course is called Shift Happens, and you can sign up for it at store.drjewa, that's DRJEWA.com. Next slide. All right, and if you want to contact me directly, I'm on social media a little bit. I'm not on there heavy duty. I post inspirational messages on there. Sometimes I, do a couple of little things that are, other than that. But if you want to follow me, you can follow me and contact me via Instagram or
all over this,
Facebook.
a lot of lawsuits out there from employees to employers trying to stop the mandate. So I think if we can get a couple of the court of
Thank you. I don't know what that was. Anyway, Instagram at Dr. Jewa and Facebook at Dr. Jewa Lea, or you can email me at info@drjewa.com. Stacy is telling y'all to make it rain. I haven't got to that slide yet, but thank you, Stacy. Thank you so
I
much.
wanted to just throw in a couple comments from Facebook that were really quick. Amadoma says, I appreciate this learning and that she has been emotional throughout this session. Jem McBean says she just bought the book. And Kathleen says, open to healing my heart space, such that my heart is as light as a feather. I envision energy flowing from a healed heart chakra.
Amen to that. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just remember, everybody, that heart disease in the African American community, for women, it's over 48%. 48% of women over the age of 20 have symptoms of heart disease, and 47% of African American men have symptoms of heart disease over the age of 20. So by the age of 20, we're experiencing symptoms of heart disease. And so we really need to pay attention to our hearts and the role that it plays, and release the burden that we've placed on it. Heal and clean up that glass, clean up the glass. When will I come to Detroit again? I live in the Detroit area, so I'm here. I will be here for a while. So yes, contact me at info@drjewa.com if you want to set up a consultation for coaching. I do personal coaching as well. If you don't want to do, if you want to do the group thing as an introduction this Saturday, I think it'll be a great experience so you can see what I do, give us a taste of some of the things that I do in my practice. And then you also can see results, because you will get results in this session. And I'm not just saying that just to say it, I'm saying it because it will happen. Candace Smith says the retreat last week was transformative. Thank you, Candace. Candace was in attendance during the retreat. She was one of my attendees. And so, yes, transformational work is consciousness work. Shift your consciousness, you'll shift your life. And that's what I specialize in, helping you do that. Not just your life, but your health. So the book was titled Core Perfectum, What You Don't Know About Your Heart May Be Killing Your Life, not your body or anything like that for a reason. Your life is affected by your consciousness. So what you don't know about your heart may be killing your life. So let's get educated, let's get up to speed so we can turn the course of heart disease around in the Western world, but in the African American community in particular. Next slide. Oh, thank you, Deirdre. Real Granola Girl said the results were amazing. Yes, we had some amazing, amazing transformations take place this past weekend. So if you're interested in doing a love offering and donation, Zelle or Quick Pay, you will go to sowleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com. That's the email address you would use, SOW leadershipdevelopment@gmail.com. Cash App is $Spirit of a Woman. And the code you would use is hashtag 323JL. And I thankfully in advance accept and am graciously accepting of any love offerings that you bring my way. I know that this is an energy exchange, and money is just one way of performing an energy exchange. So thank you in advance for that. Code hashtag 323 to those addresses that I listed above. Upcoming, so join us tomorrow for When Vision Speaks by Sahuspit Kokaki. I'm sorry, Shahuspit.
Yes, that's correct. It's Kokai.
Kokai. Thank you. Thank you for that. And then on Thursday, the 13th, join us for May the Force Be With You with Robin Devonish. Dynamic ladies, dynamic presentations. Make sure you're here at 7 a.m. on those respective days. And so you please invite your friends to this community. A lot of different information being brought in, a lot of different contributions from the facilitators, wonderful community. Invite your friends and family to the Woo Nation. They welcome all members, and a community where we come to learn, elevate, and ascend. Amen to that. Next slide. And we welcome all the newbies that are on the call this morning. I know I have some people who were at the retreat this past weekend who are on this call. Thank you for joining me this morning and just continuing the conversation that we started on Thursdays last week. So the Wake Up Everybody community schedule, we do Zoom live workshops Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Those are 90-minute sessions. This is a 90-minute session. And on Mondays and Wednesdays, we do 30-minute sessions from 7 a.m. to 7:30. And we also are streaming live on Facebook. So I thank the Facebook community for being a part of this, as well as those people who participated live on the Zoom. And Adam says he was on his stationary bike for the part of the episode. So you can do multitask while you're doing these things. You can elevate and ascend and get your workout in at the same time. Thank you, Adam. So Woo swag, Woo Nation swag. You can get your sweatshirts, t-shirts, mugs, and masks. And so I said PM, I'm sorry, AM, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Sorry. You know what time. It's in the mornings. We wake up. We're waking up. Wake up, everybody. Okay. So we have our mugs, we have our t-shirts. You can get them in black or white, and we have our masks. So make sure you get your Woo swag at bit.ly/Woo swag. And Woo is WUESWAG. Next slide. So stay in touch, and thank you for being a part of this morning. To register to be a part of the Woo community, you go to bit.ly/Woo Wake Up Movement, sorry, bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. Facebook is bit.ly/Woo Community. And at Instagram, we're at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. And at YouTube, bit.ly, bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. And finally, email info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. We encourage you to stay in touch, invite your family and friends, and be a part of this community. And it's an ever-growing community. Thank you so much for being with me on day 323 of the Woo Wake Up Everybody community. Again, my name is Dr. Jewa Lea. I'm the author of Core Perfectum, What You Don't Know About Your Heart May Be Killing Your Life, and Master Coach, and Mind Body Energy Practitioner. I look forward to seeing you this Saturday. Make sure you go to store.drjewa, that's DRJEWA.com, to sign up for the class this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Shift happens. Allow a shift to happen in your consciousness. Shift your consciousness, shift your health, shift your life. Thank you again this morning. Have a great day. Make it powerful. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Dr. Jewa. Thank you for what you shared. We can all unmute ourselves and thank the doctor.
Thank you. We love you, Auntie, Dr. Jewa. See you Saturday.
Amazing and life affirming. Amazing and life affirming.
Yes, thank you,
Amazing
Jewa.
and life affirming.
Work, everybody, but thank you, Dr. J, for what you do.
Amazing
I love everybody.
life
And let's
affirming.
move forward.
Beacons of
Make
light
it rain.
leading the
Let's
way.
see some energetic
Amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you. Amazing life affirming.
Let's move forward, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody
Thank you, Wendy.
have